All right. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, my name is Marcela Andrade.
Marcela is my godmother, and today we're going to be talking about the experiences of a 1.5 generation immigrant and how they have changed over time in the education system. So just for context, a 1.5 generation immigrant is a first generation immigrant who immigrated to the United States or anywhere else in general, but we're going to be focusing on the United States before or during their early teens. So usually a child from the ages of 6 to 12 or even, high schoolers, but not adult and not babies. Okay. So Marcela, who I call Meche, by the way, so if you hear that, that's what it'll be. Where are you from?
I am from Mexico, Baja California Sur. It's one of the south part in Baja.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. How old were you when you came to the United States?
I just turned 15 when I was crossing the border.
Oh.
I crossed the border on my date of birth.
Okay. Were you by yourself when you came across?
No. I came with the father of my son. Crossing.
Oh, you were pregnant?
I was pregnant, yes.
Oh, okay. When you got here, how was handling the pregnancy and giving birth?
Well, I was not knowing that I was coming to the United States. I was very little when I crossed. At the age of 15, I would never came out of my own hometown in Mexico. I grew up in a little small town of 5,000 people, and it was my first time just to live out of my town to somewhere else. So when I left my town, I was pregnant. When I crossed the border, I was 8 months, close to 9 months pregnant, and I came to the U.S. I get my son born in the U.S. I stayed since then, and I've been here since 1991.
Wow. Okay. How long after you got to the United States did you start going to school?
I think it was like less than 2 years. Less than 2 years.
Okay. And how far did you go in the United States school system?
I went to a program in high school called ESOL.
ESL. Yeah, English Second Language. Yeah.
Yes, for second language. And it was a group of a lot of kids coming from different countries. Most of the kids, it was maybe 70% of Hispanic, and the rest was different countries, Asia, Europe, and different places from all over the world.
Okay, so tell me about that. How was going to high school in the United States? Were they very accommodating?
When I came to the program, it was easier being in ESOL class because, like I say, most of the kids was Hispanic speakers. So I was hanging out with most of the kids who speak my own language. But the rest of the kids, it was very hard because the communication, they didn't know English. Some of them came from China, and some of them came from India. So with them, it was very, very little, the conversations and all that stuff. Going to different classrooms after my ESL class, like math, world
geography. Yeah.
It was kind of difficult because I didn't understand the language, and our teachers was 100% English, and the students, it was 100% English, and it was their language, and they didn't speak any Spanish.
So you were in some classes that weren't ESL program classes.
Exactly, yes.
And those were much harder?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you got to your, second year of high school or first year?
No, I went to ninth grade.
Ninth grade. And which high school did you go to?
Austin High.
Austin High School? Okay.
Austin High. It was in 1992. So I stayed there. I mean, it's been too many years ago. And then I decided, not to go to the school. It was kind of hard. And that's it.
So during the experience you had at school, how was it raising, or even just taking care of her son at the time?
Back then I have a lot of help from people who was around me, people who love us very much, and it was a lot of help. So it was not hard to have a child with a lot of help that I have from the people around me.
Okay. So when you came over and in the years following, did you have any trouble like assimilating into U.S. culture, like integrating yourself?
No, I never feel I was in a different place. Most of the friends that I have, it was Hispanic friends. Right now, I still haven't. Most of my friends are Hispanic, so I've been in the U.S. for that many years, and my English is still a lot of problems with my English because I never been in a position where I have to speak the language because everybody around me
was speaking Spanish.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like I never been told like, oh, you know what, you have to speak Spanish 100% every day, 24/7. No, so I've been adapted to everything, to the holidays and it's Hispanic people, everything that we celebrate in the United States, we celebrate it as in Spanish, pardon. So I'm not having any trouble to get involved in the culture.
That's good. So this might sound a little weird, but do you feel more Mexican than American, or do you feel more American than Mexican, or neither, or both?
Well, Aiden, let me tell you something, okay? I'm American because Mexico is an American. So I gotta be right here. It's getting me nervous, very, very nervous. But being here in the United States, most of my life, I love the United States. I wish with my heart to be always in here. I know a lot of places in the U.S., but I love Austin, Texas. It's my hometown, it's my town, and I'm very happy over here. So I will never thinking going back to Mexico. When I go to Mexico, I just go for 1 week or two, and then my heart is just going back to Austin. So for me, this is my home.
Okay, that's good, because there are a lot of studies that have been done, like by College Board and other sources, where they say that people that are in similar shoes or similar situations as you, they feel like out of place or outcasts because they weren't born in the United States, but they also they're not adults yet, and so they have to grow up being like they have a little bit of experience in their home country and a little bit of experience in the country they moved to. So I'm glad that you feel like in place.
So I'm very happy here. The United States has been great for me and for my kids and my family, so I'm very happy.
Did you, while you were in school, did you make any friends that you still talk to?
Yes, I have 2 friends of mine. We've been friends since ESL classes. The only ones I still hang out with them. Her name is Anita, and the other one is Aime. We go out once a month, twice a month, for dinner, for lunch, and we became very good friends.
Okay. Okay, I know you weren't in school for very long, but when you were in school, did you face were you discriminated against at all? Was there any like bullying or any times teachers like treated you differently?
No, Aiden. I just remember having this teacher who teach math, and he was very sweet, very nice person. I couldn't have any other communications with the other teachers because they didn't speak the language, but Mr. Garcia.
Oh, we're just gonna wait 1 second. Que gordo. Okay, so your math teacher, Mr.
Sí.
Garcia.
So Mr. Garcia, they put me with him because he was giving math, and he also speak the language.
He spoke Spanish.
Sí. And like I say, he was really sweet. Years later, as a grown up, as an adult, I saw him in a place, and I talked to him, and he recognized me, and I was so happy about that he recognized me who I was, and I told him that thank you very much for everything that he did for me.
Oh, okay. How
There's
sweet.
never any discrimination from nobody. I never felt less than anybody. I was a very happy kiddo.
That's good. That's good. I think that's a rare experience for some immigrant students. So there's this thing, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the American Dream. It's like where you start off. It's basically like you can accomplish anything if you're an American. Like no matter like your circumstances, like you could be poor and you could like end up really rich. And they call it the American Dream because it's like a lot of people come here with that concept of like, oh, America is a place of a lot of opportunities. And so there's some studies that have been done where it's like a lot of immigrant children feel pressured to do well in school because their parents want them to live the American dream. And I know that you have 2 kids, right? 2?
Yes.
Do you feel that Papa Ken, who is Christian's father, do you think that he put any pressure on Christian, or was any pressure put on Betty to like kind of perform really well?
I don't know how I feel about that, but Papa, he is one of the person who study a lot, and whoever who is next to him, he just want that person to do something better. It doesn't have to be their kid or it's anybody. I think he put some pressure like a regular father. Do your homework, do your studies, and do all that as normal. But I never feel any pressure that he have to do it because if he doesn't want to do it, he's going to punish him. No, he did it because it's the way a father teaches a son. So no, I never see Papa putting any pressure and Christian or Betty. No.
Do you think that Betty or honestly Christian, do you think they feel or felt pressure to do well in school?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Having Papa being as a lawyer, I guess they have that pressure to become somebody in life because they got the model, and having that model next to you, I think not just for him but for anybody is a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
That you.
So it didn't really have to do anything with the immigrant status.
No.
Okay.
No, but maybe Aiden, for some other parents who came, let's say I came at the age 15, right? Because I turned 15 when I was crossing the border. So I was very young. Maybe if in the past I crossed the U.S. at age maybe 30, and having kids, raising kids over here in the U.S., maybe the brain, it will be different. Mm-hmm. Oh, you have to do this to be better than me, blah blah blah.
Oh,
but
okay.
since I came really early age to the U.S., I'm not like, oh, when I came here, I didn't know I was coming to the United States. So my brain is like, oh, I didn't came because the American dream, because I was very young, and maybe for young kids like 14, 15, we don't have that brain to think, oh, it's the American dream.
Yeah.
But as a grown up, an adult, 30, 40, when they come to the United States, they might think, oh, it's the American dream.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, that's a very interesting experience, because you were kind of growing up alongside them because you were so young.
But I can tell you, coming in the United States at the age 15, that I much better over here than over there, because let's see an example. Over here, I just open. Yes, okay. See, so when I was raising by my parents in Mexico, the life is really hard. Over here is much nicer.
Nicer, yeah.
Then over there, for example, growing up, we have to wait for the pipa, the pipe, for them to deliver water to us once a week.
Oh.
So over here, having water, open the water, and you just have water right there. Another thing is like, we have to go from one city, our town, to a city to get a lot of our stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a lot of that stuff that I remember that is much different than over here, that I'm glad that I'm over here. And I just, not because of that, but it was an example to tell you that it's much nicer than over there.
Did you go to school in Mexico?
Yes. I went to school to 6th grade, and that's it.
I don't think there's anything to compare it, but what were the main differences between school in Mexico and school here?
Well, I was like 11. 11 years old. I remember going to school, and it's like 30 kids, maybe less, 15. And we just go there, and they give you like 5 different subjects: math, science, and they give you a couple of minutes, maybe 15-20 minutes to go and run outside to take a little break. The teacher is still going. They give you ¿cómo se dice para ejercicio?
Exercise, like
PE.
Yeah.
PE classes. They give you PE classes once a week, not every day, once a week. They teach you how to clean up your classroom. They take turns. We used to take turns to clean up, sweep and mop, and that's it. And over here, everybody, all the people who clean up the school, you don't have to do much. So, no, it is different.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Miss Kudim, this has been Marcela Andrade, aka Meche. She's my godmother, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
Anna, shut up. What is your name and how old are you?
I'm Romina, and I'm 19 years old.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Ecuador. Quito.
Okay. How old were you when you came to the United States?
18. I just turned 19.
Oh, okay, cool. Tell me about the transition you experienced in your school.
It was pretty settled and calm because it's a really nice community. But at first I went to McCallum, and they told me I didn't have enough credit, so they told me to go to Garza.
Okay.
And it was a nice transition. But before that, I did online school, so it wasn't as hard. I did online school when I lived in Spain, so it was easy.
Oh, so you came from Spain?
Yeah, I came from Spain. I used to live in Spain before.
Okay.
For 2 years.
What are the main differences you feel from school in Spain and school here? Or did you say you went online?
I went online, and I also went to a school there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the form of teaching or education, it's much harder there than here. Here it's a different way, and also the people that are around you are more social. They talk to you. But I guess it's because this school is different than other high schools. I bet in other high schools it's more, I don't know, normal, if you would say that.
So at Garza, are you in any special programs for English second language?
No. They told me if I wanted to have a translator, and I said no because my English is not. It's good. It's good. But I don't need a translator or anything, and I don't receive any help. But they told me if I wanted some help, and they were there if I wanted.
Did you grow up in Spain or in Ecuador?
I grew up in Ecuador until I was 16, and then I moved to Spain for 2 years.
Did you learn English in school?
Okay. I learned English in Ecuador when I was I went to an international school in Ecuador since I was in first grade. Yeah.
Okay. So today we're gonna be discussing what it's like for immigrants in the United States education system. So have you faced any discrimination in any of your classes or any facet of the school you've been going to?
Maybe, but not direct, maybe students in different ways, but not directly. No one has been ever mean to me or said something discriminating or something. I've never experienced that. It's always been maybe they talk about it and say something she speaks Spanish or whatever, I don't know. But no, I haven't felt that. They haven't said that to me.
Okay. How have your experiences been with your teachers?
They've been great. I love my teachers. They're all really good teachers, and I think I have a pretty good relationship with most of them, with all of them. They're really good teachers, and also my school is self-paced, so you have to advocate for yourself and do it yourself. It's not they're on top of you, so you're just coordinating with your teachers what you want to do, but they're not lecturing anything to you. Except math, I would say that's the class that has more lectures and you have more communication with the teacher. But other than math, it's just you do it by yourself. So it's I don't know, it's not too much about education when it comes to your teachers, I would say. But I still have a great relationship with my teachers. I always
That's good. Okay, that's good. Are you here with your parents, or are you here?
No, I'm not here with my parents. I live with my aunt and my uncle. My parents live in Spain.
Okay. Do you feel any pressure to succeed, go above and beyond in school?
No.
No?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I feel the pressure to finish school because I'm 19. I was supposed to finish when I was 18. But I didn't finish not because I couldn't, because I really didn't want to, blah, blah, blah. And then that's why I came here, because it was you're finishing school. So I feel the pressure to finish because I feel stuck, I'm schooling, I'm 19. I could be doing something else. But I feel no pressure, from my grades or my teachers. It's really chill,
So, side note, what made you decide to come to Austin from Spain?
So, I went to school in Spain when I moved there. I did online school for a year. I dropped out school in May, and I didn't finish that school year. Then I was I'm not gonna do it anymore. So I went to school in Spain. I started going to school there, but I lived in Spain in Barcelona. And in Barcelona they speak Catalan. But I went to it was a town, so it was more Catalan, and everything was in Catalan. So like in December, I was like, I can't do this. Like I liked the school, I made friends and everything, but there it was pretty hard. I would say there I felt more discriminated there than here.
Really?
Yeah, because they speak a different language I didn't speak. I understand English and I speak English. I did understand some Catalan, but I didn't speak it, and they speak it a lot. So I couldn't understand classes. I had a hard time. I didn't have any support from my teachers. So then I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, so one option was to go back to online school, and another option was to come here. And here, if you want to go to a school that has English in Spain, it's very expensive. So they decided to send me here because here you don't pay for school. So it was like, you don't pay for school, you're not gonna pay for rent. Like it's gonna be the least expensive choice, and your English is pretty good. It's gonna be easier because school in Europe is much harder. It's like way back. It's like old school, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I decided to come here, and I had a lot of options. I have some family around the United States, but this was, I don't know. They told me it was a pretty nice city, and they had a university, and my uncle and my aunt are teachers at UT, so it was like, you know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you'd say the transition was pretty smooth from Spain to United States?
I would say yeah. At least for me, because I don't know, I can, like, you know, get anywhere, and I feel like I don't feel uncomfortable or anything. And because I did online school, if you come from school with a lot of friends and it's like you're not used to it, it might be harder. But I was just like, you know, used to doing my own thing and then meeting my friends. So it wasn't that hard. It wasn't hard at all, actually. It was cool. More than hard.
Cool. All right, well, thank you, Romina.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's it.